Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's me, Miss Lindsay here. I am the owner and founder of Language and Literacy of the Treasure Coast. I am today going to be talking about my personal experiences with my learning disabilities. In the previous video, I had talked about how we're going to talk about fact and fiction, things that I still hear that aren't so true about learning disabilities. And I also wanted to share some of my own personal experiences with you. So I wanted to encourage families that even though your child may be struggling a lot academically right now, it doesn't mean that that's the end of the road for them and they can't do certain things or be able to go off to college one day. That is something that is not true. It's important to be able to have the right strategies and to have the appropriate accommodations in place for these children. So I remember in second grade, it was towards the end of the year, I was in my classroom and all the kids were having free time and I'm sitting at my desk and I'm just sobbing because I'm supposed to be writing this little paragraph for a book report on horses and I couldn't write the word horse. And the longer I sat there, the more frustrated I got and the more I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. My mom walked into the classroom because she was a teacher at the school that I was at, and she asked, "What's going on?" The teacher said, "Oh, Lindsay's just being defiant and is refusing to do work." And I'm sitting there with tears streaming down my face and I'm looking at my mom going, "I just can't do it." And I wasn't exactly a model student, so me being defiant wasn't an unusual word for my mom to hear, but she knew at that moment that wasn't me being defiant. I really couldn't do it, and the longer I sat there, the more frustrated I got and the less my ability was to be able to do it. Think about when we get frustrated with things, sometimes we need to walk away so we can go back and take a deep breath, go back and finish the task. That's what I needed. I needed a little bit of a break because I became more and more overwhelmed and I worked myself up more and more and more. So at that point, my mom had decided that she was going to homeschool me. So I was homeschooled from third grade to eighth grade. And I am blessed to have a mom who is an educator who thinks outside of the box. She is not a paper pencil type of teacher. We did a lot of multi-sensory type of activities throughout these fundamental years of education for me, which is a huge component of my success today, was having that small group with multi-sensory for me to be able to understand concepts and to be able to execute what needs to be executed, even though it may have taken me longer or I may have to do more steps to get to the final product. So I'm telling you guys that just because I want to encourage you guys that there is things that we can do. We can set our children up to be successful. During my first master's degree, it was all online and everything was papers. I'm not good at writing papers at all. So what I had to do was I had to hire a tutor to edit every single one of my papers. So my first master's degree is a master's in health administration. And I not only was paying to go to school, but I was also paying someone to edit every single paper that I wrote. But I graduated with a 3.95. Yay! It was super exciting. The only course that I didn't do well in was my accounting course with math. And that was always a struggle. I always told everybody, I'm not good at anything. I'm an average at everything. I'm not really good at English. I'm not really great at math. I'm not really good at science. I can kind of get by, and I enjoy this, but I'm just not very good at it. And the reality is there was something I was really good at, but I just didn't know how to execute it. A lot of people with learning disabilities are big picture thinkers. So we can see the big picture, but getting those little details to get to that big picture is a struggle. So a lot of the strategies that I help implement with all of the kids here is helping them with those little details so that we can get to that big picture. For my second master's degree, I had to go get a formal diagnosis of dyslexia in order for me to receive accommodations for testing because I almost failed out of grad school. Right now I'm in my final semester and all I have to do is my externships, so there's no more tests, thank goodness, besides my state, the licensing test. But in order for me to receive accommodations during grad school, I went and I had a formal evaluation. I wanted to read to you the results of my evaluation. So the results of this current evaluation shows that Lindsay continues to exhibit difficulties with reading as reflecting her previous academic difficulties. She continues to present with a specific learning disorder with impairment in reading, word reading accuracy, inconsistent reading comprehension. Overall, the word reading skills are in the low average range, with her phonics skills in the 19th percentile for her age. She has significant difficulty registering details when reading, and she shows variable reading comprehension based on how is it assessed, with enhanced performance relative to peers when the format is untimed and multiple choice. Whoa. When I read that, I called her and I said, how am I a functioning adult? And she said, you have a lot of strategies that I saw you using. And a lot of the pressure from grad school came from being timed and fill in the blank and having to find that word. I could see it in my head, but I couldn't get it out. So a lot of the accommodations were to help me with that. So going back to that fact and fiction, I heard a lot of Lindsay's lazy. Lindsay avoids tasks. Part of that's true, part of that is false. So let's talk about the false part first. Lindsay is lazy. In fact, I was not lazy. I was doing the best I could. I just didn't know how to be able to complete the task. The second part, Lindsay avoids the task. She has these behaviors to avoid a task. That was true. If you know you can't do something and you don't know how you might be able to do it, of course I'm going to try to avoid the task. Anybody would. Any adult would. So that's why it's so important for us to set our kids up for success, giving them the strategies for them to be able to complete these really hard tasks for them. So that's what I have for today. Tomorrow I will be talking about how I felt when my daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia as a parent, from a parent perspective. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.